I just want a second look.
Yeah, there's something about this one, isn't there? It's familiar somehow.
We think we're stuck in a specific fragment in time, and we've been repeating that same fragment over and over.
But the flirting's over, Sherlock. Daddy's had enough now.
Hello and welcome to You've Seen It Before, TV reviews with connections in mind. Luke Cage Season 2 has dropped on Netflix, and it is continuing the story of Carl Lucas, aka Luke Cage, who is back on the streets of Harlem after the events of The Defenders. And this time around, we find that the sins of Mariah Dillard's past are coming back to haunt her as the new villain Bushmaster has come to the streets of Harlem from Jamaica, seeking to claim what he believes is rightfully his. And Luke Cage is caught in the middle of this family feud, and he is doing his level best to try and keep the streets of Harlem and the people safe from this gang war. Now, this video review will contain spoilers of Luke Cage as well as certain other films. There will be a full list in the description below. So if you've not finished Luke Cage Season 2 yet, or watched any of the films listed below and want to wait until you have, stop the video at this point and come back later. But with these things in mind though, let's begin. Now, as with a lot of Marvel products, there will be a lot of cross ties and thematic parallels with other Marvel products. The character Bushmaster, for instance, his mother was killed by Mariah Stokes' grandmother over the ownership of Harlem's Paradise Club, as well as the sale of Bushmaster rum, hence Bushmaster's later moniker. So Bushmaster comes to Harlem in order to seek revenge on the Stokes family for the injustices brought upon his family. Now, this is very similar to Ivan Vanko from Iron Man 2, whose Ivan Vanko's father, Anton Vanko, was partners with Howard Stark, and he felt that Anton was cheated out of Howard Stark's life work, and so the son goes to the son of Howard Stark, aka Tony Stark, in order to seek revenge on him for the slights against his family. Luke Cage Season 2 also features a great cameo appearance in one episode by Iron Fist, who helps Luke Cage out in his investigation of Bushmaster's operation in Harlem. And there are two instances in which there are similarities between Luke Cage Season 2 and Avengers Age of Ultron. The episode with Iron Fist features an instance where Iron Fist uses his power against Luke Cage's unstoppable, unbreakable skin, and they create a shockwave that takes out a whole bunch of Bushmaster's henchmen inside a warehouse. Very similar to Thor and Captain America combining their respective weapons, Thor's hammer and Captain America's shield, in order to create a shockwave to take out a whole bunch of Hydra minions. In that same episode, of course, Iron Fist Danny Rand also buys the building in which they proceed to destroy, burn down Bushmaster's nightshade growing operation. Certain similarity to Age of Ultron again, in which Tony Stark buys a building in Africa so that he can throw the Hulk down through it and hopefully stop him. Finally, there's in Luke Cage Season 2, there's a lot of cross-dealing going on here. Luke Cage is associated both with Mariah Stokes' operation and Bushmaster's operation in one form or another, where the hero ends up having to team up with the villain in certain respects in order to take on a common threat to the things that they love. Now, this is a common thing throughout a lot of different movies and TV series, but we're sticking with the Marvel vein here. Two instances in the Marvel vein that this resembles is Thor: The Dark World, in which Thor teams up with Loki in order to protect Asgard from the Dark Elves. Or outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we have X2 X-Men United, in which the forces of the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Mutants must team up in order to take on Stryker, who is whose plan threatens all of mutant kind. Now, with all this being said, of course, is Luke Cage season 2 worth binging the 13 episodes? I would say yes, but it suffers from a lot of the same problems as other Netflix Marvel series. Mainly the fact that it is 13 episodes, and I'm not entirely certain that there's 13 episodes worth of story to be told here. It really only gets really juicy near the end, much like a lot of the other Marvel Netflix series. And there are certain episodes that drag a lot. It is a very slow burn, and I would say really the only I believe it's episode 11 that 10 or 11 that Iron Fist shows up, and that is worth seeing, because if you were disappointed by Iron Fist's standalone series and you saw some potential in his character in the Defenders, you'll see a lot more improvement in his episode, in his appearance in Luke Cage. That gives me, he does such a good job as a supporting role. He seems more centered. He's less angsty than he was in Iron Fist season 1. So hopefully, since it is confirmed that the Iron Fist season 2 is going to be coming out, that gives me a lot of hope for the character going forward. So that is definitely worth checking out. The ending of the series is definitely worth checking out. It has a lot of juicy implications for what's to come. If you made it this far without finishing Luke Cage season 2, I'm not going to spoil how it all turns out, but there's some very interesting implications of going forward. And I was trying to find something that I've seen before of going through this, but there's really, as far as I know, there really isn't much like that exactly what happened at the end of Luke Cage. If you found something similar, please comment below, but that shows me that this is a very interesting twist, and it is definitely worth checking out for that. So if you're turned off by the first few episodes being slow, don't worry, it does get better, and the ending's definitely worth your time. So there you have it. There's my review of Luke Cage Season 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate whatever audience I can get. Be sure to check out my other reviews coming out. And just remember, there's nothing new under the sun. And yes, you have seen it before.